to another episode of Straight Cash Homey Picks. I'm your host Jason, and let's dig right into it and find out what I missed last week. Well, West Virginia screwed up a lot of betting slips last week. They had a huge upset against Oklahoma State at home after looking horrible the week before, so definitely missed that one. As well as I made the mistake of betting against Oregon and taking Cal in the points, and of course they covered. But let's find out what I got right last week. Well, not a horrible week for me. Oklahoma looked strong, Florida State and Clemson all covered the spread. So guys, let's look forward to this week and see what we have in store. First game we have on the books is Texas Tech traveling to Kansas. Kansas is going to be a 14.5 point dog at home. I think take Kansas, rock chalk Jayhawk, and the 14.5 points. Then we have Louisville looking to continue their hot streak, headed to Temple. The Owls are going to be a 33.5 point home dog. I think take Temple. This is kind of one of those examples where everybody's riding that Louisville bandwagon. There might be some value there with Temple. Then a game I'm actually really looking forward to is Maryland traveling to Florida State. Now, Florida State's going to be a 15.5 point favorite. I think this is going to be a pretty fun game. I'm going to take Florida State, but I would also look at the over. A lot of points are going to be scored here. And then the biggest line of the week is Alabama hosting Georgia State. They're going to be a whopping 56.5 point favorite at home. I think take Georgia State. I don't know if Alabama can really put up that many points. We know that their defense has been a little bit shaky this year, so let's take Georgia State and the 56.5 points. Next is Georgia Tech traveling to Miami. The Canes are going to be a 5.5 point favorite at home. I think take Georgia Tech. Then Clemson looks to keep their national title contention hopes alive as they travel to Syracuse. Syracuse is going to be a 13.5 point dog at home, and I think take Clemson. I'm a little surprised this line isn't higher. Then what I think to be another high-scoring matchup, we have K-State at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State looking to rebound off of a disappointing loss against West Virginia last week, and they're going to be a 14.5 point favorite. I think take K-State and the points. Next up we have a Big Ten matchup with Minnesota traveling to Michigan. Michigan is going to be a 21.5 point favorite. I think take Coach Hoke and lay the 21.5 points. Switching gears with an SEC matchup, Georgia looks to travel to Tennessee and cover the 11.5 point spread. I think take Georgia. They're looking really strong this year, and lay the 11.5 points. Next up, Fresno at Idaho. I think take Fresno, lay the 24.5 points. Then one of my favorite picks of the week is Oregon traveling to Colorado. Colorado is going to be a 38.5 point dog. I think take Oregon and lay the 38.5 points. LSU, you let me down last week against Georgia. This week they're going to take on Mississippi State. I think take LSU and lay the 9.5 points. Speaking of letting me down, I bet the Gators all year long, and this time they're up against Arkansas. I think take Arkansas and the 11.5 points. Then Ole Miss is going to travel to Auburn, and they're going to be a 3.5 point favorite on the road. I think take Ole Miss here and lay the 3.5 points. Then Oklahoma plays host to TCU. The Horned Frogs are going to be 11.5 point dogs on the road. I think take the Sooners and lay the 11.5 points. Well, let's see. I took UK against Louisville. This time they're going to travel on the road against South Carolina and the old ball coach, and he's going to be a 21.5 point favorite at home. I think take UK here and the 21.5 points. Next, we'll see if Notre Dame can rebound off of a disappointing loss as they play host to Arizona State. They're going to be 5.5 point favorites at home. This is going to be an interesting matchup, and I think take Arizona State on the road and lay the 5.5 points. Maybe the biggest matchup of the week is Ohio State traveling to Northwestern, two Big Ten teams. Pretty high rankings here, and Northwestern's going to be a 5.5 point home favorite. I think take Ohio State on the road and lay the 5.5 points. West Virginia riding pretty high off of the victory against Oklahoma State last week, and they're up to a tall task against Baylor this week. Baylor's going to be a 26.5 point favorite. They're putting up a ton of points this year. I think take the Baylor Bears and lay the 26.5 points. Final game of the week, we travel to the Pac-12 where Washington takes on Stanford. Stanford is a home favorite at 6.5 points. I think take Washington and the 6.5 points. And there you have it, folks. That's our Straight Cash Homey picks for this week. Let me know what I missed and what you'd like to see in future episodes.
Straight cash, homie.